God sees you. He knows what you're doing. He is aware of the situations that you find yourself in. He sees you, and He is going to be very faithful to reward us for all the things that we will go through. We will experience truly eternal life. So, everyone who acknowledges me before men, Jesus says, I will also acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. It's helpful for us to remember that this is in context of all these great persecutions, tribulations that the Christian will go through. And Jesus is saying, if you acknowledge me before men, even if they are coming at you, even if they are taking you to court, you need to realize that Jesus is going to acknowledge you before your Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. You see that link between us being willing to acknowledge Christ here, having our public profession of faith, and that connection to Jesus honoring us before the Father and giving us that eternal kingdom. That is what happens when you are regenerated. That is what happens when you are saved. That is what happens when you are born again. Three words for the same thing: regeneration, salvation, the new birth, being born again. When you have experienced that inward change, when you are converted, what happens is that your allegiance to Jesus changes and you follow after him, and that you will be willing to forsake. And though none go with me, still I will follow. Though no turning back, no turning back. And it's important for us to remember this no turning back aspect of following after Christ, because Jesus brings divisions. So let's look at what Jesus says. He says, do not think that I've come to bring peace to the earth. That is interesting, because that's going to be a taken back. I thought that's what the angel said: peace on earth, goodwill toward men. I thought he was to bring peace on earth. Well, and he will bring peace in the very end. But the peace comes through division. It comes through separating the wheat from the chaff. It comes from separating the Christian from the non-Christian. So that is how peace happens, when he gets rid of those who are not submissive unto him, those who do not receive the free gift of salvation. But Jesus says quite plainly that we should not expect there to just be eternal peace. We should actually expect to have some sort of enemies. Not that we should be violent toward them. We should avoid that at all costs, right? But that there will be people that come after us because of our Christians' convictions. So he says, don't think I've come to bring peace. I've not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father. So he's going to be, there's these deep divisions, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. These very essential relationships. He is saying there's going to be division because of Christ, because some will choose to follow and some will not. And he says a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Now, what he is not saying is that we should hate our mother or father. What he's saying is that our love for God should be so great that it looks as if we hate our mother and father. Thankfully, or clearly in this verse, he doesn't use that word hate, but he does use that in other passages. So Jesus is saying you must put God, you must put Jesus first and foremost in your life, and then everything else will come into place. And then he says, whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You must love Christ. You must love God above all else. Verse 38, and whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life, look at this promise, will lose it. And whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Taking your cross, of course, the cross was a means of crucifixion, was the means of death. And Jesus is saying we must die to ourselves. We must die to our own selfishness. We must die to the things that we want to happen in our life. We must follow after him, trust him to write our story. And when we lose our life in that way, we are going to find eternal, wonderful life. Indeed, there will be a reward. And so here is the scriptural, or here is the journal section. Scriptural insight is Jesus brings division and demands our allegiance. That's it. You can expect that there will be division because you are following after Christ. And he does demand our utmost allegiance. Follow after him. Follow after him. Here's the prayer: Father, you are my God and my Lord, and I will follow, knowing you will reward. He says, you will find life. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. You're going to find life. You're going to find eternal life. We'll see that even clearly in our readings to come. And then the promise to claim. I will claim the promise of division. So already assume that there is going to be divisions in your life because you choose to follow Christ, because you have made certain personal convictions. That means you're not going to necessarily be in close relationship with other people because they want to do those wrong things. They don't want to follow after Christ. And if you walk with them in that way, then you will not be being obedient to Christ. So you're going to claim the promise of division and then know that I will find true life as I follow Christ. That as you follow after Christ, you're going to find that true, eternal, abundant life. Pray that's been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.